Breaking news! Something seismic just happened in the NFL, and most fans probably haven't even noticed it yet. But it's quietly starting to ripple through every front office, every agent's desk, and especially into the locker rooms of second-round draft picks across the league. And yes, this shockwave started in Cleveland. It started with the Browns. But what makes it even more intriguing is how the Texans got into it, how it could affect rival franchises like the Bengals, and why Andrew Berry may have just pulled off a masterful front office strategy that could shape the next decade of NFL contract negotiations. I'm going to tell you all about it in detail, so hit that like button now. And if you're a die-hard fan, write in the comments, "Go Browns!" So let's dive into it. We're only a few weeks away from Browns training camp, but the real firestorm started not on the field, but in the accounting department. Only 2 second-round picks from the 2024 NFL Draft have signed contracts so far. Just 2. And guess who they are? Carson Swissinger, the linebacker out of UCLA, drafted 33rd overall by the Cleveland Browns, and Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver from Iowa State, drafted 34th overall by the Houston Texans. You might ask, why is that a big deal? Because both these players, yes, both, received fully guaranteed contracts. That might not sound revolutionary at first glance, but here's the kicker: that has never happened before in NFL history. No second-round pick has ever gotten a fully guaranteed deal. Ever. Now suddenly, 2 teams break tradition. The Texans started it with Higgins. The Browns followed suit with Swissinger. And now the rest of the NFL? They're scrambling. Agents are making calls. General managers are sweating. And owners, especially those in smaller markets, are furious. Let's break this down. Imagine you're a second-round pick this year, someone like Quinshon Judkins, who the Browns also selected later in the same round. You see Carson Swissinger, who went just a few picks before you, land a fully guaranteed contract. What's your next move? You call your agent and say, "I want that deal. I want exactly what he got." And now that agent walks into a meeting with your team's GM and says, "Match it, or we hold out." It's a domino effect, and the Browns were the second domino. But make no mistake, they are a critical part of the chain reaction. Now, why did Cleveland do it? There are theories. Some are straightforward. Others? More deliciously conspiratorial. The first and simplest reason: once Houston gave Higgins a fully guaranteed deal at pick 34, it would have been almost impossible for Cleveland to justify giving Swissinger, pick 33, anything less. It would have made negotiations toxic. Imagine trying to explain to a player and his representation that a guy drafted after him got more guaranteed money. It's a PR disaster waiting to happen. So in that sense, Cleveland's hand was forced. Houston made the first move, and Cleveland followed. But that's not the only reason. This is where it gets interesting. Some believe that the Browns may have actually wanted to do this. That they saw a strategic opportunity not just to lock in a top defensive talent like Swissinger with peace of mind, but to use their deep-pocketed ownership as a competitive weapon. The Haslam ownership group is not shy about spending. And while there's a salary cap, there's no cap on guaranteed money. That's the loophole. That's the playbook. Think about it. What's the risk of giving a second-round pick a fully guaranteed deal? If he busts, you eat the money. But the total cost isn't astronomical. You're not talking about tens of millions lost. And much of it is already paid up front in signing bonuses anyway. So for a team like the Browns, with ownership willing to invest, this might be seen as an acceptable gamble for a much bigger reward. But here's where it gets juicy. This might not be just about Swissinger. This might be about the Bengals. Yes, Cincinnati. The division rival. The team that's long been known for its tight spending habits and rigid contract structures. Their first-round pick, Shamir Stewart, the defensive end out of Texas A&M, is still unsigned. Why? Because the Bengals have historically refused to offer guaranteed money beyond the first year to rookies. That's just how they operate. But now the Browns have given a 4-year, fully guaranteed contract to a player drafted 16 spots after Stewart. Think about the leverage shift that creates. Stewart's agent walks into a negotiation and says, "If the Browns can guarantee 4 years for the 33rd pick, why can't you do the same for the 17th? That's a nightmare scenario for Cincinnati's front office. They can't match that kind of financial flexibility. And suddenly, they're under pressure. Pressure that didn't exist 2 weeks ago. Could it be that Andrew Berry and the Browns saw this coming? Could it be that part of the motivation behind fully guaranteeing Swissinger's deal was to throw a wrench into Cincinnati's contract negotiations? To create chaos in a division rival's war room? It's not that far-fetched. And if true, it would be a brilliant example of using financial muscle to gain a competitive edge. Because let's face it, there are only so many ways you can outmaneuver opponents under the salary cap. But this is unregulated territory. And the Browns just planted a flag there. And what about Quinshon Judkins? He still hasn't signed. And the reason is obvious. He's waiting. Waiting to see if the Browns will extend the same fully guaranteed deal to him that they gave to Swissinger. His leverage is undeniable. His patience might pay off. And if the Browns cave again, we might be looking at a full-on shift in how second-round contracts are handled league-wide. That's why this matters. That's why this isn't just another quiet off-season transaction. Because what happened with Swissinger and Higgins is shaking up long-held norms. And the Cleveland Browns are at the center of it. What do you think, Browns fans? Was this a genius move by Andrew Berry to leverage his ownership's deep pockets and disrupt the market? Or did Cleveland walk into a trap set by Houston, forced to follow along and deal with the consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And now, as this contract ripple effect continues to unfold, the next few weeks leading up to training camp will be critical, not just for Cleveland, but for the entire league. Every agent representing a second-round pick is watching what the Browns do next. Especially Judkins' camp. The clock is ticking, and the pressure is mounting. If the Browns choose to fully guarantee Judkins' deal as well, it will all but cement a new standard. Not a one-off anomaly, but a true shift. One where second-round picks, for the first time in NFL history, expect and demand full guarantees. That could trigger an arms race in the draft economy, forcing every team to reconsider how they negotiate and how they allocate budget, not just for top-tier talent, but for all early-round rookies. What started with 2 teams might soon become a league-wide revolution. And it would have all started in Cleveland. But beyond the financials and the market disruption, there's a deeper, more strategic angle here. The Browns are not just building a roster. They're building leverage. Cultural leverage. Contract leverage. Psychological leverage. And if this move rattles the Bengals, causes tension across other front offices, and gives Cleveland a reputation for being bold and player-friendly, it might make a difference in future free agency negotiations. 2. Imagine being a player or agent looking for the best deal. You'll remember which team guaranteed their rookies money when no one else would. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Was this a smart play or a risky overreach? Is Andrew Berry ahead of the curve or playing with fire? Drop a comment below and let's hear what you've got to say. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Go Browns!